A couple videos ago, I mentioned how I did this loading area, making it concrete using foam board and wood ashes. Since then, I really liked how that came out. So I did on the other side of the tracks, the piece right there, and also this piece. Now this piece isn't glued in, it's just sitting there. But I used the same technique on them, and it worked out well. I like how it came out every time. It's consistent, looks good, very cheap, and super easy to do. There are a couple places on the layout where I wanted to add some concrete. I never had a good technique to do it before, so I hadn't done it yet. So I wanted to do a video and show you how I do these. First place I wanted to add one is behind this passenger area. I want to do concrete in between that and those tracks. The first thing I do is use regular printer paper to make a pattern of where I want to put the foam board. So I trace that and cut it out. Then I lay that over the foam board, cut the foam board out. Always check the foam board and make sure it fits right. Fits real nice in there. The other place that I wanted to add some concrete was over by Habacker's garage. We were just printing in Skippy's hot dog building. There right now I have some printed paper concrete. Actually, I think it's scrap paper concrete that I've made, and I just used that to fill in that area so I'd have something there. And when I changed it the last time, you can see where the tracks were before. I had a dummy track there I could park trains on. So I cut the foam board, and I wanted it to be a little bit bigger than this paper I had, but I used that paper pretty much for the template. And checking the foam board, make sure it fits right. Got my foam board. It's all cut out, ready to be made into concrete. This is all going to be concrete, and this edge and this edge. This edge will be against that passenger platform on the one side, and this will be against the tracks. And I know it's this side because I wrote this on the bottom when I was fitting it into the space on the track. And I do this because I don't want to admit how many times I've painted the wrong side of something like this. Anyways, I'm going to be using Elmer's rubber cement. This is good to use on this cheap foam board because it doesn't warp it. And if you use if you use thinned down white glue or Elmer's glue, then that stuff will warp this when it dries. So this doesn't. Also, on the other one, the other video, when I mentioned the other concrete, I'd used spray adhesive on that. This regular Elmer's spray adhesive, because I didn't want it to warp. Now this is just ashes. Regular wood ashes. Just pour it on there like this. This is ridiculous, stupid easy, and it looks really good. Now the other stuff was white. This is the first time I've used the black, so we'll see how that works. I think it'll work good. Put it on kind of thin. Spread it out real good. Gotta do this kind of quick because this stuff dries kind of fast. Knock off all the excess. So this is kind of what I was hoping would happen. If there's any spaces where it misses a little bit, it might look like a crack in the concrete. And then some of these bigger pieces in the ashes, I'll knock those off. I don't know if you can, I think you can see that. These little pieces. I'm going to touch up these edges real quick because I want this to be concrete. I always try different stuff like this because I like to be able to do some cool looking modeling stuff cheap. This is like super cheap. This foam board it costs $1 for a sheet. These are just scrap pieces that I had from doing other stuff, using them in the walls of paper model buildings and stuff. But you know, a sheet of this is $1 at the Dollar Tree. Now look, I touch that with my thumb. I'll just let that dry. Got the edges. These edges aren't done, but I'll probably mark those with a Sharpie just so they're not white. This instance showing you on the other one, this is pretty much the same way. I'm going to spread some rubber cement on there, dump ashes on it, and you're done. It's been about a half hour since I did it. Let's take them over to the layout. That sets in there real nice. But since it's against the track, I went ahead and I tacked it in with a little bit of epoxy just around a couple of the corners, just so it wouldn't move or shift while the trains went by. I'll put some black rocks around that edge to kind of hide that. Let me show you a few camera angles of the new concrete around the layout.